y con esta información cargada de aromas que tiene que ver con la familia, nos despedimos. Quédese mucha más información aquí.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening. Good evening. Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. We'll be starting shortly. We're just waiting for a few more people to join us. Awesome that you guys are already starting to connect with one another. If everyone could just put your name in the chat, we just love to know who's joining us today. And just so that we can keep track of how many people are attending today's webinar. So that would be awesome if you could just put your name in the chat. We'll just give it a few more seconds and we'll go ahead and get started. It's awesome to see so many people on here today, this evening. And again, welcome everyone to NOU. If you could just put your name in the chat, we just love to see who's joining us today. Gonna give it just to about 5:02 after, and we'll go ahead and get started. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. If you could just put your name in the chat, just so that we can see who's joining us on today, that'd be great. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and get started. I do want to be respectful of everyone's time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us on this evening. Happy Wednesday to you all. My name is Hannah Wilson, and I am the Assistant Director of Student Engagement here at National Louis University. And so I'm really excited for all of you all to be joining us, whether you are coming from another institution or whether you are deciding to begin your college experience or whether you are deciding to go back to school for whatever it may be. We're really excited that you guys have decided to do that at National Louis University. On today, we're going to be providing you all with some resources as well as some tips and tricks so that we can just make sure that during your time here at NLU, this process is as smooth as possible, making sure that we give you everything you need to be successful. And so before we dive into our webinar for tonight, I'm going to turn it over to our Vice President of Student Affairs, and he's going to provide you all with a warm welcome. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Aurelio Valent.
Hello all, welcome to this webinar version of orientation for transfer students and graduate students. So thrilled to be among the first to welcome you. And let me do that on behalf of our president, Dr. Naveen Megahead, and all of the leadership of the institution, including our academic deans. I'm going to quickly share screen to kind of accompany my brief welcome. First of all, I'd like to say welcome to my second favorite day. I love orientation and all that it represents relative to what is possible in a new chapter. But my first favorite day, of course, as you might imagine, is commencement. And the reality is the overall experience in your transfer and graduate education is every single day in between. So definitely relish the feelings that compose of these two important days, but really make the most of the time in between. We'll be asking you to share about yourself, so it's only fair that I do that with you. This is about my 30th year of doing higher education work. I absolutely love the opportunity to assist you to make sure that each of you here today is also here at graduation. And that passion is motivated by my own experience, both as an immigrant and as a first-generation college student. And I have the distinct pleasure to work with folks like Hannah and many, many others who share that passion and commitment with me. As I mentioned, we'll be asking you to share. So I wanted to give you a little sneak peek to my origins and what brought me here. Here's a pic of me and my mom. Believe it or not, that is in the 70s, not in the 50s. As I mentioned, I was an immigrant, and this is my passport for when I came to the States at the age of 12. I like to joke that even back then I had good penmanship. So this really is an example of the traditional immigrant story and really the impact that education can have. I know that as transfer students and as graduate students, you've done this before, but I would love for you to think about orientation as an opportunity to really unpack what I call the difference between checkers and chess. Because if you take the pieces out, the board looks the same, but in fact, the rules of the game are completely different. And that's what I like to emphasize about today and the first couple of weeks at NLU. Like your previous institution, we have a financial aid office. Like your previous institution, we have academic deans, like myself and others. But the reality is, when you look beyond the surface, things are very different at each of our institutions. The most common difference for NLU is our quarters, in that the schedule is very different and has impacts on a lot of our procedures. So be thinking as you navigate this, even though it looks familiar, how is NLU different than my previous institution? Let me leave you with some pieces of advice. First, please check your email. We send super important information about opportunities, scholarships, internships, and the primary delivery of messages for that is email. Two, if you are on campus, consider an on-campus job. If you're not on campus, consider a virtual campus job. We have plenty of opportunities, and that includes internships, as I mentioned before. And then lastly, stay in touch with the folks who were here before you, who are successful in their second year or third year of graduate education and upper division work in your program, whether they be your tutors, whether they be teaching assistants. These folks are phenomenal and a wonderful resource for you. And of course, whether you are coming in person or learning remotely, please stay safe and healthy. We want all of our students, whether they're coming to campus or learning remotely, to being healthy and safe as we hopefully see the tail end of this pandemic. You might know that if you are attending in person, the governor has required the institutions to have employees and students be vaccinated by this end of this week, before classes begin on Monday. So if you haven't yet done so, please submit your vaccine documentation It's right here at Return website, and I'll put that on the chat. But know that even if you're not in person in classes, if you think you're going to come to campus, please do submit the documentation, because that'll be necessary to have access. And you should do it too, because there's an opportunity for a scholarship. Even before this mandate, we promoted the use of vaccines to help fight this pandemic. And we offered a scholarship to cover 100% of your tuition for the term. And we will keep that commitment, even though it's a state requirement now. So lastly, stay in touch. In the intervening times when classes begin, during midterms, and while you're here, whether it's through the university in Eagle Life, through our call center and our various online platforms, or me directly. I'm available through my email, or if you can't remember the email, I'm available on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all of which use NLU@Dean. So please make the most of the time with Hannah and her team. We hope to see you either in person or virtually throughout the upcoming weeks. And of course, at the end of your experience, my favorite day, which I know will be your favorite day, commencement. So congratulations on joining us, and thank you so much. And we hope to help you achieve your dreams. Back to Hannah.
Thank you so much for those who are welcome and for providing us with that additional information. So we're going to go ahead and get our webinar started. I am going to pull up my presentation as well. While I'm pulling up that presentation, I want everyone in the chat to just kind of let us know, what brought you back to, or what brought you to NLU. Was it deciding to finish a degree? Was it deciding to get another degree? I'm really excited to find out what brought you back to NLU. So please go ahead, if you could start putting that in the chat. We would love to know how you came part of the NLU community. Yes, somebody said they're finishing a degree after earning their ELL endorsement. That's awesome. Somebody's getting their educational leadership degree, so that's awesome. They're getting their doctorate, job requirements, master's in education, licensed teaching and master's. Ooh, a second master's. Finishing a degree in education. This is awesome. This is awesome. So, yes. Well, this is awesome. Again, we're so excited, whether you are here finishing up a degree or just starting a degree or coming back, like I mentioned before, to get an additional degree. We're just so excited that you guys decided to do that at NLU. So I'm going to bring up my presentation. If everyone can just give me possibly a thumbs up using the reaction function, just to let me know that you can see my screen. Awesome. Perfect. So on today, just to provide you all with the agenda, we're going to be going over some tips for success. So just giving you all some things that we feel that you should do before school and once school started to make sure that you are all good to go. We're also going to just provide you a little bit of information about student finance. We're going to have a live demo of D2L. D2L is going to be really important whether you are a person that's going to be coming to campus, an online student, or whether your classes are remote. It's still really important to use D2L. And then I want to go over the orientation modules. I know some of you all have been having some issues with the orientation modules, so I want to make sure that we set you up for success with that as well. And then also going over some involvement opportunities. We are really big with the experience inside the classroom as well as outside the classroom. So I want to make sure that you know what we have to offer outside of the classroom. And then we're going to end the day with questions and answers. So as the day goes, or as this hour goes, if you have any questions, please jot them down. I do sporadically ask for questions throughout, but you can definitely start thinking about your questions as well. So tips for success. So before classes started, it's best that you complete your online modules. And again, we're going to go over those just to make sure that you guys understand how to get credit for them and make sure you understand how to access them. Also making sure that you explore D2L. So I'm going to make sure that I show you how to do that, as well as attend one of the webinars, which you are doing today. So you've already can check that off that you are attending one of the webinars. You also want to make sure that you are checking your student email. It's really important that you check your student email, because a lot of the documentations and a lot of emails and all of that are from the school are going to come to your student email. Through your main email, you can set it up where it goes straight there. But until then, please make sure that you are checking your student email. Also make sure that you have ordered your books from eCampus if you have not done so already. Also downloading the EAB guide to view your schedule, and I'll talk a little bit about that on the next screen. And then I'll also kind of go over a little bit later, making sure that you download an EagleLife app to make sure that you're getting involved on campus. And then also, for whatever reason, if you're having issues with your computer or anything like that, making sure that you know that we have a help desk that's available to you 24/7. So you can always call 866-813-1177, and they'll be able to assist you at any time. Okay, once school starts, make sure you try your best to get involved. It's really important that you get involved at NOU. So attending Welcome Week, introducing yourselves to your instructors. You can actually start doing that now through email. Joining a student organization, participating in campus activities is really important as well. Even creating study groups, making sure that you understand that we have different departments that you can browse, like Career Bridge, Learning Support, for tutoring, and even scheduling an appointment with your advisor. It's never too early to start making sure that you're connecting with these different departments. So as I mentioned before, we have an app called the Navigate app. So the Navigate app pretty much allows you to connect to NLU, whether it's connecting with your advisor, getting help from learning support. If you need to access your financial status, you can do that on here through Student Finance, Career Bridge, and even Disability Access Services. You can get in contact with all of these departments through the Navigate app. So if you have a moment, if you have your phone and you're not using your phone, take your phone out and go ahead and download the NOU Navigate app so that you can have access to be able to have access to these departments. From this app, you can also form study buddies with your classmates, or you can join a study buddy. You can view your schedule. So it might even be important now if you don't know your schedule yet. You can go on there and view your schedule. If you want to kind of see what's going on with your financial account, you can look at that now. And then also, they also ask that you take an tell us through NOU about your experience. So you can kind of take a survey about your experience, which will allow us to better prepare ourselves for the future utilizing this app. So if you have some time and you're not on your phone for this webinar, I would say go ahead really quick and download the Navigate app. And then to highlight learning support. Learning support is one of our resources that we have on campus that allows you to have virtual and in-person tutoring, which is awesome. It also allows you to get your essays and your assignments reviewed in 2 to 3 days. So if you wrote a paper and you want to get a review so that you can get the best grade possible, you can submit that, and within 2 to 3 days, you will get your essay back with revisions or with their thoughts of how you can make this paper better. We also have study tables support for our undergraduate students. So this is a way that you can come to study tables, connect with other students, as well as connect with someone from learning support that can help you with math, writing, pretty much any of your assignments. They'll be there to help you study and help you do your assignments. Also, as a student, you also have a premium version of Download. How many people are familiar with Grammarly? Just with the reaction function, you just put your hands up or a thumbs up and just say if you're familiar with Grammarly. Awesome. So that's awesome that you all are familiar. So the great thing about being a student at NLU, you'll actually get the premium version of Grammarly, and you're getting it, for free. And so that's awesome. I'm telling you, I use the premium function and it provides way more support. And so it's awesome that you guys be able to get that extra step into making sure that your papers are good to go before submitting them. You can connect Grammarly to Outlook, which means it will assist you with your emails if you're using Outlook. If it can get connected to all of Microsoft Office, so you can get it connected to Microsoft Word. So you don't even have to copy and paste and go to Grammarly. You can get it connected to your Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, all of that. So all you have to do is press Grammarly already, and it'll automatically check your work within that platform that you are using. Also, we have free workshops, and these workshops, give me 1 second. These workshops are free to our students, so it can be how to do time management. It can also be just better ways to study. All of these are free workshops that Learning Support has throughout the quarter. And then also we have student study guides and videos that are also to your disposal on their site. And then also for those times where it's late at night or it's the weekend and our tutors might not be available, you can always go to tutor.com, which is also free to our students, to utilize a tutor, and they can help assist you during them times where we particularly might not be open. Okay, and just to reiterate again, the website and contact information for Learning Support, it is on the screen. So definitely take advantage of this resource that we have at NLU. And just want to highlight, I know all of us have been in the pandemic for the last, year and a half, almost 2 years, and a lot of us feel like we are so proficient in Zoom, but I just want to make sure I go over Zoom just to make sure that I can assist you in that way as well, because some of your classes might utilize Zoom. Some of you all might have classes specifically on Zoom, and so I want to just make sure that you understand the best ways to access Zoom. Sometimes your professor might just send you a Zoom link, and that Zoom link will take you straight to the actual Zoom room, or sometimes they might just give you the Zoom ID number. Either one of those ways will get you where you need to be. If they give you the Zoom link, then you can put that straight into any browser that you want to use, and it'll take you straight there. If they just give you the Zoom ID number, then you will have to go to nl.zoom.us, or you can just go to Zoom on the internet as well and just go to join a meeting and just type in those Zoom numbers, those ID numbers, and you will be able to get straight to your Zoom room. So either one of those is the best way. Sometimes your professor might have it on the waiting room setting. That's totally okay. Nothing's wrong. You just take the time to utilize that time to make sure you can test your audio. You can text the visuals just to make sure that everything is good to go. If for whatever reason you are having issues, you can always connect with the help desk. Again, that's 24/7. The numbers on the screen, but also you can also go to helpdesk at nl.edu as well. And just to highlight the functions of Zoom, just so that you know what to utilize them for. The first one is mute. If you're not talking, I will always say mute yourself, because even though you're not talking, sometimes the background noise that's behind you can be heard as well. So unless you are talking, try to do your best to keep yourself on mute. The next option, or the next button you see, is the camera. So that allows us to see you or not. I always tell students to keep your camera on if you can. I do think that it takes your experience to another level, allows you to kind of get a little bit more engaged, a little bit more involved when your camera is on. So if you can, definitely keep your camera on. Another thing I wanted to highlight is the share your screen button. At times you might be asked to share an assignment or whatever that might be. If you need to share your screen, that's how you share your screen. I do want to highlight that when you share your screen, you usually see multiple boxes, and those boxes are all of the, I would say, components of your computer that you have open. The very first screen allows you to fluctuate from different screens. If you pick certain ones, it's only going to allow you to show that one. And when you go to another one, it's not going to go to the other screen. It's going to stay on that one. So if you know you need to fluctuate from different, whether it be from PowerPoint to Excel, always pick that first button. Okay. And then the next thing I wanted to highlight is the chat function, which allows you to communicate in the chat. Communicating in the chat sometimes is what your professors might use to encourage engagement. So definitely make sure that you're utilizing the chat when questions are being asked. And then also when you open up the chat, to the right, you'll see 3 dots. Those dots allow you to save your chat, and it'll save to your computer. I always tell people, especially if some great content, because sometimes some great information, some great content can come up in the chat. So instead of like, oh my God, let me hurry up and try to write that down, you can save your chat and you can always go back and see all that great content that came up in the chat. Okay, and then also just to highlight in the chat that you're able to communicate with certain individuals, or you can communicate with everyone. So just make sure that you change that setting when you need to talk to certain people. Okay. Any questions so far?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
This is Hema. So when we talked about the learning support and connecting Grammarly to Outlook, will it also connect to the other version of MS Office, which is Neat Office? Has anyone tried it?
So I'm sorry, can you say it again? It'll
So I
connect
heard that
to PowerPoint. It'll connect to PowerPoint. It'll also connect to Microsoft Word. Anything through Microsoft Office, you can connect Grammarly.
Okay, so I can assume that it can also connect to the free version of MS Office, which is Neat Office.
I'm not quite sure about that one, but
I'll try that. I'll try that. Yeah.
Okay, and I'll look into it as well. All right, I do see some questions in the chat concerning some things that we're going to talk about a little bit later. So if I don't get to that, or the questions that you have about that, definitely keep those open, and just let me know at the end of the webinar. So just to highlight some quick components of student finance, just want to make sure that everyone, if you are going to be using FAFSA, make sure that you know that the NOU code is 001733. So once you are signing up for your FAFSA, those will be the numbers to the NOU code, okay? Make sure you're checking your NOU student email, and that's why it's important, because this type of information is only going to go to that. So if you have missing documentations, or if you are looking for your award notification letter, or your MPN interest counseling, all of that's going to go to your student email. I'm just going to make sure that everyone puts themselves on mute. Awesome, thank you. And then also, wanted to let you know that the option of accepting your loan. So that's full or partial offered amount. I always tell students that please make sure that you pay attention. And if you can, only take what you need, because sometimes you'll accept it all and then it'll come back in a refund, which is awesome. But if you know that you might not necessarily need all of that and you want to just pay your tuition, make sure you pay attention, because at the end of the day, no matter what, you have to pay it back. So just make sure that you pay attention to what you get, so that you are covering what you potentially only need, especially sometimes when you might get scholarships or you might get your tuition paid in other forms. That means that the money that you might get from FAFSA, you might not need it all. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that, so that you get you accept what you actually need. And also the contact information, again, we have student finance at our Chicago campus, our Wheeling campus, and our Lisle campus. And so the numbers on the screen for you to be able to get in contact with student finance, as well as the email address. And just to also let you know some of the different payment options that we have. So you can pay quarter by quarter, because we are on a quarter system here at NOU. Financial aid, again, I talked about that. And if you need the code, again, it's 001733. Direct bill, tuition reimbursement. So that can be from, your job, your employer, a scholarship that you might have gotten. It can be from a church, it's multiple ways to get tuition reimbursement, and then also military benefits. So just make sure those are your options of ways to pay for school. All right, so now we're going to go into the live demos of D2L and the orientation modules. All right. Again, as I mentioned before, D2L is the system that you're going to utilize in order to connect with your professor, no matter if you are online, on campus, or virtual. Everyone utilizes D2L for the most part. So we want to make sure that you understand how to navigate it. So I'm going to a different screen. Can everybody see my screen right now? It should say welcome to NLU Online Campus. Can you just put a thumbs up, letting me know? Perfect. So once you get here, you're going to utilize your username and your password. Your username is the beginning of your student email address. So it's everything minus the @my.nl.edu. So everything before the @ sign is your username. And then, of course, your password. Usually your password is capital N national with the year you were born most of the time. So you shouldn't have any problems with your password, but you should have gotten that information from your enrollment specialist, which is your username and your password. And again, your username is the beginning of your student email address. So you're gonna put that into the system and you're gonna hit log in. 1 second. One moment. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. So back to our D2L. Once you get to D2L and you've logged in, it'll take you to the home page. So this home page is where you will see all of your classes, okay? And so for example, if you are taking Math 101, you'll see a box that says Math 101. If you're seeing English, if you're taking English 102, you'll see a box that says English 102. So for every class that you are taking, you will see a box. And so that's perfect because it doesn't confuse everything. You'll know that within this box, everything is only pertaining to that particular class. So for example, if you're taking a certain class, so for example, if this is Math 101, you'll hit Math 101. It'll take you to the home page of that class, okay? At the top, you'll see content, discussion, assignments, grades, other tools, and student subject, okay? When you hit content, you're gonna see it set up in a module form. And so each week is set up by a module. So for example, week 1 should already be there and week 1 is gonna be next week. So that module will include all of your assignments for that week, your reading assignments, what you need to read, what you need to turn in, any additional components you might need for that particular class. All of that will be underneath that module. So I would say if you have some time already, go in, explore, and see what's already there for next week. Okay. Also, we're going to highlight discussion. And so a lot of times your professors will utilize the discussion board. And it's just a great way to engage with your fellow classmates. So sometimes your professor might pose a question, then you will go in, you will start a discussion, and then you'll be asked to respond to either 1 or 2 of your classmates. I will tell you, discussions really create some great dialogue, some great conversation. So definitely take discussion seriously because, like I said, some great conversation comes up in the discussion, okay? And just to kind of show you how the discussion works, when you press that, you'll see where it says, and give me 1 second, it'll see start a thread. When you start a thread, you'll go in and put in your question, and then everyone's will populate, and then you'll go in and kind of respond to your classmates' questions or their thoughts. And like I said, it creates great conversation. So make sure you take this particular component really seriously and really think about on your responses. Going over assignments.
Can I ask a quick question in the discussion about the discussions?
Yes, go ahead.
When there are no topics in the discussions, is it possible to like add a topic or put a topic out there for discussion, or there has to be a topic there that is chosen by the instructor?
It's usually by your instructor. I mean, that's something you can discuss with your instructor. I'm pretty sure people are probably not going to respond unless it's, an assignment. So most of the time, the question or the assignment is posed by the instructor.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so I wanted to go over assignments and how to submit your assignments. So as you are submitting assignments, you will see this right here where it says practice assignment demo submission folder. That's going to be your assignment. So you'll have a list of all of your assignments, and each one of them will have its own component. And so it'll be that, and then also you'll see completion status, which usually says, so for example, if you submit one assignment, it'll say one submission, however many files you need to submit it. So if this assignment says that you have to submit a paper and a PowerPoint, that'll be 2 files that you submit. And then the score. So your score will be whatever it is. So if the assignment is 10 points, hopefully you get 10 out of 10, and you'll see that there. And then also you'll have your evaluation status, which will be content and information from your professor about the assignment. So when you hit practice assignment, you'll see here, you will see that it'll have, when you scroll down, you will see where it says add a file, record an audio, record a video. Most of the time, I've never known anyone to have to do a recorded audio, record a video, but that does not mean it won't happen. More than the time, most of the time, professors will have you add a file. And once you go to add a file, you'll just go to wherever you have submitted, wherever you have that assignment, go ahead and post and then hit submit. Please make sure you hit submit so that you're not missing out on getting your assignment posted.
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned, does NLU exclusively use the Microsoft Office suite or is it compatible with Google?
It's Microsoft Suite. So we like for you to use Microsoft.
So do you provide like a code, or do we have to purchase the Office suite?
There is a student side of that. I would say talk to your advisor, because there is a student portion of that for Microsoft Office.
Thank you.
No problem. I wanted to highlight grades as well, because once you start submitting your grades, you will see your grades, whatever your assignments, you'll see that list of your grades here, the assignments, and then you'll see your grades. So you'll be able to see all together and even a total at the bottom of what your grades are. So it's always good to sporadically kind of check out to see where you are with your assignments. All right, and just highlight some other things, which is within D2L, you can chat with your instructor personally, or you can chat with your classmates. Also, usually sometimes your instructor might create a checklist, so you'll be able to view that. You'll be able to see a list of all of your classmates, so you'll know who's in your classes. Some other things that usually professors always utilize too is the group function. So sometimes if there's group assignments, your instructor will be able to put you in a group and you'll be able to see that as well. And just to highlight also within D2L, you can connect with library services, ADA accommodations. So, if you need additional accommodations to make sure you're successful in the NLU, you can get those accommodations there. You can also connect with learning support. You can connect with the Career Bridge as well, and even get tutoring.com that we talked about earlier. You can get there as well, and even My NLU, which is your student email. All of that can be accessed through D2L. All right, sometimes when you get on D2L, at the top, you might see, the envelope, which is almost like a email message. You might see a chat function, which is here, and then you might see this, which is the alert. If you see that, that means that your professor might have uploaded a grade, has checked something. So if you see that, that means you have gotten messages. So that's overall a synopsis of D2L. If you have any questions about D2L, please stay on after, and I can make sure that we answer any additional questions you might have as far as navigating D2L. So next we're going to go over how to complete the online modules. And I want to pose a question really quickly because I want to know how everyone is doing the modules and if people are having issues. So the question is, have you completed the modules?
Okay. So are all the 8 modules need to be completed?
Yes, and we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like we are about half and half, which is great. And so I'm gonna go over the modules and just also answer any questions you might have. So yes, you do have to complete all of the modules. If you are an education major, there's an additional module for education. So if you're not education, you don't have to do the education. If you are education, you would do all the modules plus education. The modules are very simple. They shouldn't take no more than about an hour to 90 minutes. It's pretty much videos and flyers and, just information just to make sure that you know all of what we have to offer at NLU. So it's really beneficial that you do the modules because it does provide some great information that's very useful. I do want to make sure that you understand that in order to get credit to do the modules, you have to log in. It's really important that you log in. And so by logging in, you have to make sure you utilize your whole entire school email address. So for example, when you go into your portal, you only need the beginning. But when you log into your modules or into the system that we utilize, you have to utilize your whole email address. So for example, my email address is hwilson9@my.nl.edu. You have to include that whole entire email address, and then your password will be the same. So when you see this little icon at the top, you're gonna press that, you wanna log in, you wanna make sure you have that correct information. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the system. Can everybody, give me 1 second, it's loading. Can everybody see my screen? It should say experiences. Perfect. And so, as you can see at the top, you see this icon here. Right now, it says login, which means I have not logged in. But as you can see everything. So it's important that you log in because that's going to be the only way you receive credit. So I'm going to log in. Can everybody still see my screen? It should say experiences. All right. Once you scroll down, you're going to see where it says new student online orientation. Can everybody see that? New student online orientation? Perfect. So as you can see, we have all of the modules. So once you log in and once you hit that, you'll see just a quick information. Again, just letting you know how important it is to log in. Just some quick intro information. And then at the bottom, you will see the modules. As you can see, module 1, technology, there's a green check. That means because I logged in, I completed it, I hit the apply to earn button, I answered the 2 questions, I hit submit, I got credit. So if you say to yourself, I did all the modules, but you don't see any green checks, that means you did not log in. So it's really important that you log in so that you can get credit, okay? So we're gonna go to one of the modules so that you can kind of see what that looks like. And again, if I'm gonna confirm with you all to make sure that we're looking at the same thing. Right now it's loading. So does everybody see Module 5, Academic Advising and Career Bridge? Can we get a thumbs up? Does everybody see that?
No, it doesn't show anything.
Okay, give me a second to fix that. One moment. All right, does everybody see Academic Advising and Career Bridge?
We can't hear you.
Can everybody see Academic 5, Module 5, Academic Advising and Career Bridge? Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we can see it.
great. All right, so once you get into the modules, again, just a quick overview, a couple videos. Each video is pretty much no more than about 5 minutes, so it shouldn't take you long. Usually they're less than that, so it shouldn't take you long to watch those videos. Just some information. Again, we can't stress enough how important it is to download the Navigate app. Giving you some information about some other things we have going on campus, Handshake that's connected to Career Bridge, that's really important. Also providing you with how to access the bookstore, just some general information. So again, the modules do not consist of a large portion of your time. You should be able to navigate all of the modules within about an hour to 90 minutes. Once you have done each one of the modules, when you log in, that's why it's important to log in, because when you log in, you'll see the apply to earn. If you have not logged in, that means when you come to this, you won't see the apply to earn button. So that's really, really important that you hit the apply to, that you log in. Once you have done everything, you've watched the videos, you have checked out different content in the module, it'll take you here. Again, it's just answering a couple of questions. You know, which department assists in career exploration, resume building, and networking? Again, we're all pretty sure that we know what that is. All the questions are very simple. It's just making sure that you understand. It's just for us to know that you actually looked at the content. Okay? Again, they want you to go into Handshake, so just go into Handshake, upload your resume. Once you've done that, you can say that you uploaded it, and then which department assists in registering for degree requirements. That's all you have to do. Once you have done that, you'll hit submit for approval. And I've already done it, so it's already in the system that I've done it. It'll take you back to the home page, and then you can just go ahead and do the next module. Unfortunately, the way it's set up right now, it does take you back to the home page, and then you do have to go back to New Student Online module, but you'll know that you've completed the module because now you will see a green check. Any questions so far about the modules?
Can you repeat again? I'm sorry, I know you went through this. How do I get to the models after I log in into the website?
So after you log, most people probably have gotten to the modules through an email that I might have sent, but you can also go through, so nlu.presence.io. So at the top, you'll see nl.presence.io /experiences. So once you go there, or you can just go to nl.presence.io, go to opportunities, hit experiences, and it'll take you here.
I have a question. You mentioned something about students that's majoring in education for the education modules.
Yes.
When I logged in today, I didn't see modules for education. I only saw those 8 modules that you just talked about.
So give me 1 second, because I can show you. Okay, so when you hit new student online orientation, sometimes it just takes a minute for it to load. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a second. In the meantime, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the presentation. I'll definitely go back. So if everyone could just, if you have any questions about the modules, you can stay on and I'll definitely go back and go over. I do want to be respectful of everyone's time while it's loading. And I'll definitely go back to the modules. But just to reiterate that coming up, we do have some great events happening at NLU. Just to let you guys know that we do have Eagle Fest. Eagle Fest actually ended today. So if you were able to make it, that's awesome. But if not, that's okay, because Welcome Week starts this Monday, which is September 20th through September 24th. So we have a lot of different events happening throughout the week. So definitely check out Eagle Life, which is another app. So if you have your phone, you can check out the Eagle Life app, which is through any store. So whether it's Apple Store, Android Store, you're able to download the Eagle Life app and the Navigate app that we talked about a little bit earlier. And then also Transfer Week. If you're a transfer student, we want to celebrate you and we want to make sure that we have all the resources for you as well. So that's going to be October 18th through October 22nd. Just also want to highlight too, we have a new office called the Centro de Excelencia, which is also called the Clave Graduate Student Institute. And so for the most part, it's a service hub for programs and initiatives that advance our work as a community and career-focused Hispanic serving institution. But even though it's mostly for our Hispanic population, they have programming for all of our students. So it's brand new on the 6th floor at the Chicago campus. And some of the awesome things that they're going to be doing already, which is a graduate student success and summit workshops, providing you all with professional development, student, financial leadership and leadership. They also have a doctoral fellowship, and then they also have a last dollar scholarship. So they have some great things happening. So definitely go to the Centro de Excelencia website so that you can see all the awesome things that they have coming up. And we cannot leave today's webinar without talking about NLU Counseling and Wellness Center. We also have a brand new Counseling Wellness Center that is opening up this Tuesday. So we are really excited about that. We're really big on making sure that our students' well-being our mental health is very important, and it's one of our initiatives to make sure that your well-being is really important to us. So we offer in-person and telehealth counseling services. We have an NLU intern who's working on their counseling degree, and then we have a licensed counselor. All of these individuals are here to help you with a variety of situations that might be causing you stress within your life. So if you are looking to receive counseling, the website is definitely on the screen. And then also the Counseling Center has a app as well, so called the Reach Out. So definitely download that app as well so that you can be connected to all of our NLU resources. And just to highlight what Aurelio talked about, Dr. Valent talked about earlier, which is making sure that you do get vaccinated so that you can be a part of the scholarship. You have until this Friday to turn in your vaccination information so that you can be eligible to receive this scholarship. Again, it's really important that if you want to come to campus and want to attend classes in person, that you do get vaccinated by this, either vaccinated and upload your card by the 17th, or you have at least started the process with your first shot by the 17th. So that, because after this Friday, if you are not vaccinated, you will not be allowed to enter our campuses unless you have filled out the exemption form. So that website is on the screen. I also have a QR code for students so that you can easily upload your vaccination card as well. Okay. So that is our webinar today. I'm going to pose one more question so that we can make sure that I've answered all of the questions for you. And then I'm also going to stay on so that I can assist people with questions about the webinar, about the modules, and all of that, so we can make sure that everyone is all set to begin classes. So if the answer to this question is no or maybe, that's okay. I will stay on and make sure that I answer all of your questions to make sure you are good to go.
Hannah?
So for the most part, it looks like everyone is good to go. So that is great. I'm going to stay on and answer any questions anybody might have. So if you have any questions, that would be great. We will go ahead and answer any questions that you have. If you don't have any questions, that's great. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to join us, and we look forward to, at some point during this academic quarter, even this academic year, we have the opportunity to connect with you. So take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. If you do have questions, feel free to stay on and I will answer any questions you might have. I know someone had a question about the modules, so I'm gonna go back to the modules.
My question is not about the, can I ask the question?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is about the Reach Out app. I'm on the Play Store and I'm looking for the Reach Out, and there are two exact same ones that are coming up. One is in all red and white font. Other one is a green and has a logo. Which one should I choose? One is by Reach Out Racked Private Limited, and then other one is Social Future Apps Co. Is there one that I should choose?
Give me 1 second, because most of the time I don't see multiple, so give me 1 second. Did you type in NLU Reach Out?
NLU Reach Out. Oh, okay. I just did Reach Out, so let me do NLU then. Oh, okay. So it has green font on it?
Yes.
The Lakeland Foundation Health and Fitness. Okay, thank you. I got it.
All right, no problem. I see some other hands raised. How can I help you?
Hi, so I got out of work late, so I missed the beginning of this, but I saw like that we have to do the module, like the explanation of how to get in the modules and do. Was there anything before that?
So I did record this, and so after tomorrow, I will be giving this presentation to your advisor, and then they will send it out so that if you missed anything, you can definitely rewatch it. But before the modules, we did go over D2L, which is a system that a lot of your professors use to connect and communicate, as well as tell you about assignments and different things like that. We did kind of go over student
I
finance.
accessed D2L today.
Perfect.
So I was able to find out my classes and like the books that I had to buy.
Awesome. So now you can go to eBooks and get your books.
Yeah, so I was able to open the libraries that like the bookstore things. I have that added to the cart. I just have to purchase that. Was there anything else maybe?
And then we went over some tips and tricks for success. So just some additional things you might want to do before classes start. So you attended the webinar. If you have some time, you can watch the beginning, just if you missed out a few things. You've already looked into D2L, so that's awesome. If you have not started your modules or have not finished them, make sure you do that. And just check your student email just to make sure that you haven't received any information from either your enrollment, your specialist, your academic advisor, or just the school in general.
Mm-hmm. So if we just follow the emails, we should be good. Because I was a little bit worried about, it seemed like that the stuff was required based on the email I got, and I'm having some scheduling issues.
What things are you talking about as being required?
I'm pulling up the email right now. So step 1, the modules. Step 2, attend the webinar, and step 3 was the welcome breakfast, which I can attend.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. So the welcome breakfast, and that's probably the first email. You should have received another email, but that was the first email, because at one point we did require everyone to attend all 3, but because of most recent issues, especially with COVID, we're giving students the option to either attend this webinar like you're doing now, or attend the welcome breakfast. So if you are on here now, you do not, and you've already registered for the breakfast, you do not have to attend the breakfast.
All right. So So I have to register for the breakfast even if I'm not attending it?
No, if you were going to attend the breakfast, yes, you had to register. But if you're not attending, you don't have to register.
Okay.
Yeah, and since you was on this webinar, you don't have to attend, because we made some changes because of where we are with COVID, and with new restrictions. It's either attend the webinar, one of the webinars like you did today, or you can come to the breakfast. You don't have to do both.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Okay. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And then, so I think I'm all ready other than the modules. And then if I have any other questions, I just contact my advisor.
Yes, you can contact your advisor. If you have any issues with the modules, you can also email me. I'll put my email in the chat.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Give me 1 second. So it's hwilson9@nl.edu. All right. Anybody have questions?
Yeah, can I ask? So I posted it in the chat. I had a question. I'm in the education program, but I think this was a question earlier that I don't see that extra module when I go into into the modules.
Yes, give me 1 second to see what is going on with that, because I'm not sure why it's not visible. So give me 1 moment. While I'm pulling this up, does anybody else have any questions while I'm pulling this up?
I have a question about the vaccination card.
Yes.
So I will be attending the breakfast on Saturday. And so I am pretty sure I had already submitted the vaccination card because of the scholarship and the flyer I got. But somehow I'm getting, I think I got an email from somebody, I can remember who, just saying for me to upload it because they could see in the records that it wasn't there. So is there a way that I can check whether or not I uploaded? I don't have a problem uploading it again, but I don't know if it might be like an issue or maybe I'm not doing it right.
So it is taking them a while to process them all. So because once you upload it and they get back to you, you should get an email, almost like a confirmation email. But like I mentioned before, it is taking them a while to do that. You can give me your name and I can check and I can try to get back to you. If not, you can just bring your vaccination card to the event on Saturday. I will say attending today, the content will be a little bit similar, and just it will be a little bit longer, and then you'll have the option to kind of go on a tour and then get your student ID number, get your student ID.
Okay.
So I just want to let
Sounds
you know, if you attend today, I didn't want you to feel obligated to have to come on Saturday.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sounds great. Thank you.
No
As a
problem.
follow-up to that same question, I have registered for the breakfast, but because I'm here today, and if it's not absolutely necessary to attend the breakfast as well, right?
Yeah, so if you attend today's webinar, you do not have to come to the breakfast. Now, if you want to come to the
Yeah, but
breakfast,
I didn't know.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I missed your last statement.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the breakfast was optional if we attended one of the webinars. So I have registered for the breakfast. Now, because we have just moved, I would rather take the time to unpack stuff and like settle down, find a place for me to work here. So how do I like send a note that I'll not be attending the breakfast?
No worries, just put your name in the chat.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
This is Hema Sankaran. I put my name.
Awesome. Okay, so back to the individual who asked about the education module.
Yes, yep, that's
Okay,
me.
so you see module 1 through 7, and then you see education students.
Yes, see, mine only goes 1 to 7, and then the last one says like the congratulation, complete something.
So I just want to double check. Are you looking at new student online orientation?
Oh shoot, am I looking at the wrong
I
one?
looked at, okay, so I'm the one that asked about the education module. When I went in, I only saw the ones for the new online orientation. I didn't see the ones for the people that's majoring in education.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I think I might be in this wrong thing.
Yeah, so I would say for both of you all, make sure you are in new student online orientation, and then you should see module 1 through 7, and then after 7 you'll see education students, and then you'll see congratulations.
So where is that exactly at?
So when you go to nl.presence.io, at the top you'll see opportunities. When you hit opportunities, you'll hit experiences. It'll take you to this right here. Once you get here, give me 1 second.
Oh, let me see.
So you see how you see all these different experiences? You want to make sure you're doing new student online orientation. You hit new student online orientation.
So are these modules different than the one that said freshman orientation? Because that's the one that I did, the one that's like further at the bottom. And so now none of my ones in the new student orientation have a green check mark, but I do see the education one. But in my freshman and Kendall College one, all of mine have a green check mark.
Are you a freshman or are you part of Kendall?
I don't know. I'm getting my master's and teaching license in secondary education. So I feel like that would not be a freshman.
Right. So, so yeah, you should be doing this particular set of modules. And then, so yeah, you can see 1 through 7 and then education students. Some of them are similar. The only thing is some of them is actually different content because it's not the same information.
Okay. Okay. So then I'll just go back and redo those. Is there a specific time they're due? Like, but just before?
I would say if you can have it done by the end of next week, the end of the first week of school.
Okay.
Oh, so we do have time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes so much more sense now.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the confusion.
Thank you so much for all your help.
No problem.
So you did say that the breakfast on Saturday is optional, right?
Yes, the breakfast on Saturday is optional. So if you've attended this webinar today, it's optional. And I'll send out an email to everyone again so that that's clear. But if you attend the webinar today, the breakfast is optional.
Okay, because you all going to be doing the same thing Saturday.
It'll be like some of the content will be a little bit more engrossed, so they will have like a little bit more information on Career Bridge. You'll also be able to go on like a tour of our campus, and then you'll also be able to get your student ID. And then I also will be doing, so same way I did the demo, you'll be in the computer lab, which means you can actually go in and like sign in yourself, so you can kind of get an understanding for yourself of how to log in.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
So otherwise, how do we get the ID?
So if you don't come to the breakfast on Saturday, you would just have to come on your own time, and the campus is open. You either can come to Wheeling if you're close to Wheeling, or you can come to Chicago, and those are usually open from 9 to 5 right now. I might increase next week, but right now 9 to 5.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I have a question. I'm sorry. I did receive an email that said to send in a picture if I wanted my ID. Is that still possible?
Yes, that's still possible.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, I have one more question.
No problem.
So I'm doing all virtual. I'm doing all online classes. So do I still have to come on campus to get a student ID?
You don't necessarily have to right now. So if things ever change where you do need to come on campus, or you're gonna be coming on campus, then that's when you will need an ID, because you're not able to go any further than the second floor without signing in with your ID. So if you know you're gonna be doing virtual, you don't need your ID right now, but if you're ever gonna be having to come to campus, then you will.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem.
So
I can't hear you.
If you could picture, I'm sorry, you may have explained that, but you cut out for me.
You said your picture?
Yeah, can we send in a picture?
Yeah, so for your ID?
Yes.
Yes, so there was an option. You should have received an email. And within that email, it gave you the option to submit your photo so that you could, and so then by the time you came, your ID was already created for you. And then sometimes I think also too, they were sending them out in the mail also. But you should have received an email about that.
Okay. Hannah, sorry. The module thing has been really confusing. I emailed my advisor and I asked her like, which one specifically do I need to do? And she was like, just look at a couple of them, which didn't answer my question.
Yeah, I don't know why they told you that, but thanks for telling me that. You're cutting in and out.
Can you repeat really quickly again? I'm in education. I'm doing graduate work. Can you explain again where I find the modules from the home screen?
Yes, so I'll go back to sharing my screen. Okay, so you'll see where it says nl.presence.io, okay? That's the website to Presence, nl.presence.io, okay? When you get to that website, you'll see where it says opportunities, you'll hit experiences. Once you get to experiences.
So this isn't on the regular website?
What regular
So are the
website?
modules, I'm sorry. So I'm on the National Lewis, like I'm in my portal. Am I in the wrong place?
Yeah, so that's D2L. Are you talking about
This is so confusing.
I believe it's just two programs, right?
Yeah, it's
That-
just two different. So, because we talked about Eagle Life, and this is all through Eagle Life, which is just a system that NLU uses in order to let everyone knows what's going on campus. So we're also able to create experiences in this one additional system. And so once you get in, it's nl.presence.io. Experiences, everyone is doing the new student online orientation. So you let me know. So have you been in this system before?
Yeah, but I can't recall right now how I got there. So it's okay. I'll figure it out.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I'm on here to help. I'm on here to assist. So whatever questions you have, you can send them out and I'll try my best to help you.
I personally just typed in the URL, the nl.presence.io, and I was able to get on the website.
Is that beneficial for you? I mean, I can stay on if you want to share your screen, and I can walk it through your system.
No, it's okay. I'll figure it out. Thank you, though.
I do have a separate question about the new student orientation on Saturday.
Yes.
How do you apply for that? Because I only got an email.
You said you had a question about how to access the breakfast on Saturday?
Yes.
So you should have received an email, and within that email, it was a link to how to access in order to come to the breakfast. It was an RSVP link.
Okay, I'll double check it. Thank you.
No problem. Would you like me to put it in the chat?
Yes, please.
Okay, one moment. Again, I don't want anybody to leave here frustrated. So if you need assistance with the modules, I will stay on and assist you personally. You can share your screen. I can kind of walk you through how to access it from your computer. Give me 1 second to pull up the registration. While I'm getting the link, does anybody else have any questions?
I have a quick question. Is there an app that can give you access to D2L?
Once you download the Navigate app, that you can have, it'll kind of connect you to D2L.
And what is the Navigate app? Is that the EAB?
Yes.
Okay, because there is another app for Eagle Life. So I'm kind of confused.
Eagle Life is to help you get, to kind of let you know what's going on campus.
All right, okay, so EAB is the app. All right, thank you so much.
No problem.
Hey, Hannah?
Yes, 1 second. I'm just putting in the chat how to access for the breakfast. And again, if you are here today, you do not have to come to the breakfast.
Oh, sure. The question that I had was about rss.app. And when I logged on to nl.presence.io, underneath in the left hand side bottom corner, there was an action required message for me. I was asked to subscribe to the RSS.app because the trial expired. Is that something that I'll have to do?
Say it again. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
So in the nl.presence.io,
yes.
When I logged on to that, on the left-hand side bottom corner, there was a message that said, I have to subscribe to RSS.app because the trial expired. Is this something that I'll have to do?
Unfortunately, I've never been asked that, the RSS app.
Yeah, that's what it said. What is it something that, yeah, that's the link that I was on, the one that you have just sent, nl.presence.io, form, new student welcome breakfast. I was on that screen just now, and then there was this message that said, I have to log or subscribe to that RSS.app.
I'm not very familiar with that is. You should not have to, just to fill out the form. So I will look into that. Okay.
Okay. If I get the screen again, I can get a screenshot of that and send it over to you. Maybe then you can look at that then.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So the other day, I had submitted for approval after finishing one module. I can still continue today, right?
Yeah.
I can just continue
You can
to
come
do
back
the other
and
one.
forth to complete. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
I submitted the form for the breakfast. Afterwards, do I receive an email about info about it or?
Yes. You will receive info between today and tomorrow. Yes.
Okay.
The only thing is, for some people have been saying it starts at 10. It actually starts at 9. So I don't know how some people are getting that. Maybe it's a correction that needs to be fixed, but it starts at 9. But you'll receive information about it.
Okay, so it starts at 9 and the end time is at like 12 or 2?
12:30.
12:30. Okay. Thank you.
And it's in Chicago at 122 South Michigan.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you'll get information about it.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Any other questions? So, well, if not, definitely you can email me if you have any questions moving forward. But if not, thank you all again, and I hope to see you all soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for all the details.
No problem. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye.